Did you ever want to play your ukulele with a friend? Well, then COVID hit and play alongs came quickly to an end. So we virtualized and put the chords and lyrics all online. So join us every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So join us every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, and welcome to Wednesday, everybody. I'm very glad you're here. For anyone new, we're always happy to know that new people have found us. For those who show up every week, we're just so grateful that you're here. And we're going to have a good time tonight. If you saw the promo, we've got a fantastic guest. We're going to have play-along songs, and then we've got some information about our anniversary special. We've talked about that before, but we're going to talk about that again just to make sure you're aware, because it's going to be very, very cool. But the treat for tonight, our guest, his name is Peter Moss. He lives in the UK, and he is just a phenomenal player, phenomenal teacher. So we're going to get a little bit of both of that today. We're going to get some instruction on some intro-outro work, and we're also going to get some performance. So it's a very cool thing, and I could talk on and on, but as I've said before, people want to see Peter and not me. So I will keep my speech short and my introduction even shorter. And welcome all the way from UK, and he stayed up for this. So it's just after midnight. In the UK. So Peter has stayed up late for this, so we really do appreciate that. And with that said, let's welcome Peter Moss. Welcome, sir, and thank you so much for staying up late for us.
Well, it's my pleasure. Thank you very much for inviting me, Greg.
We are glad to have. So we talked last week. You were just about to head out to go to a festival. So I wanted to just real quick just touch on that, and then you're going to play a tune for us. But maybe just real quick talk about where you went.
Yeah, the bottom of the country of the UK, before you kind of hit the water, you've got a place called Portsmouth, and then we had to take a ferry to the Isle of Wight, tiny island, but there is a really good ukulele festival there, and that is where I was from the Friday until the Monday, and we had probably 250 people. So it was a nice turnout.
Wow, that's awesome. And it is. It's so great that live things are coming back, right?
Mm. Oh, sure. Yeah. So after 2 years plus of sort of lockdown, it's so nice to be able to play in front of an audience. And when you finish this actual tune, you actually hear people applauding rather than everybody being on mute on Zoom. I'm sure you're familiar with what I'm saying.
Just a little tiny cartoon clap.
That's it, yeah.
Right. Well, that's awesome. Well, let's go ahead and you said you're going to pop in and play a tune, so let's
do something. Yeah,
let's go over to that, and then we'll come back, talk a little more, and then talk about intros, outros.
Let's do it. Okay, who recognizes this?
That's amazing. A bunch of
Thank
people in
you.
the comments are saying autumn leaves. So yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
a
Yeah.
lot of people know. That is phenomenal. Hey, and a question came in. We might as well answer that now. They said, "What kind of uke are you playing?" And just before we went
Sure.
on, we were talking about that uke you're holding. There's something kind of special about that. What is that?
Well, yes, this little emblem here, the little F, it stands for flight ukuleles. They are in Slovenia, and I've been working with Flight for the last 2 or 3 years, and they supplied me with a ukulele. Then, out of the blue, I thought they were going to build me a custom ukulele, which I was absolutely delighted about, and it turns out it's become a signature ukulele. So these are going to be available around the world. They're in the UK at the minute and Europe, and they'll be in the States probably in about 2 or 3 months' time. However, people can order them from the UK and have them imported into the States. So that's there. So to actually have my name on it, such a thrill, such an honor.
Yeah. Well, congrats on that.
Thank
That is
you.
something. That is great. Yeah. Let's. So anyone interested? Well, you're gonna hop in the comments once we're through and answer any
Yeah, yeah,
questions.
I'll stick around. Yeah, yeah.
So there might be some folks that have a question about that ukulele and where they would go. Is it just flight.com or should they go to some other site? So we can answer those
Yep,
questions
yep.
when you hop on later.
Sure, no problem.
So I'm going to turn things. So I mentioned this in the intro, and when we were talking, you're like, "Well, what could I teach? What kind of crowd is it? What would they like to learn?" And you had the idea of talking a little bit about intros and outros. So I will turn the camera over to you and let you educate us on that topic. But appreciate it.
Sure. So, how did it come about, this intros and outros? Well, I'll let picture this. I'm in a room and there's 50 people and they've all got their ukuleles. They're all very excited about playing. And then somebody in the sort of right hand at the rear would start playing a tune, for example, Sloop John B. And what would happen is they'd just start playing it. And then what would happen, a little bit like a Mexican wave, it would start to work its way across the room. People would say, "Oh, it's Sloop John B. What page is that on?" So then people would be scrambling with the pages. And then slowly but surely it would work its way all the way to the right-hand side to the people at the front. However, what was actually happening is by the time it got to the people at the front, one of the verses had just already disappeared. So I was asked to try and help out the group, and the easiest way to do it, first of all, was to have somebody at the front conducting, but then to have some sort of introduction rather than it just starting straight into the piece. So I devised for that group, as I'm going to do it with you today, some simple chord progressions which can actually work in the key of C and also in the key of F. But let's work with C for now. So an introduction, why is it so important? I think if you're a performer, it's very, very important to get the audience settled down. Even if your audience isn't talking, they might be shuffling about and everything, just getting ready for you to start, and they might miss those crucial notes. So I could play something like this. And I might get that far until everything is quiet in the room, so people have missed the first bit. So what if I did this before it? If I went... Then... So everybody's settled and ready to accept this piece of music. So I'm going to show you what chords I'm using, and I'm going to show you with different speeds and how you can adapt it to various pieces. So to start with, let's have a look at the chords. The first chord which I'm playing is E minor seventh. Now, if we do this as a chord number, looking from our nose to our toes, this string is doing nothing, so that's 0. The next one has got a finger on fret 2, so that would be 2. So 0, 2, 0, and then 2 again is our chord number, because from nose to toes, E minor seventh, just like that. Should sound like that. If you've got a ukulele in your hand, try it now. So that is your first chord. Okay, now the next chord couldn't be easier, because you're going to keep the same shape, but you're going to move everything down 1 fret. So we've gone from an E minor seventh to something I call the diminished nut. It's just an easier way to say it. It's the nearest diminished to a nut. And the next chord is a combination chord. You've probably all played a D minor before now, but we're going to do something to it. So imagine that you're playing a C with your pinky at the same time as playing the D minor. Okay, has a fancy name, and that fancy name is D minor seventh. So use the same fingers as you would with the D minor, and then with your pinky pop it on the first string on the 3rd fret, and it sounds like this. Really nice sound. And then we're going to take off this here, what's on the 1st string. We're going to still use this shape and the same fingers, but we're going to move it to a different place. We're going to move it to here. So I've moved from here to there. Now, of course, this D minor had this on as well, so let's put that on. Okay, so what does they sound like individually? And so we've got... Okay, so I could play that out of tempo and play something like I was doing before, you know. However, we're going to change the sort of speed now. What we're going to do is we're going to play 4 beats on each one like this. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Isn't that nice? Yeah. Now, typically, if I was doing 4 beats on each, I'd probably do that run of 4 chords twice. So we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4. Then repeat. Then into any tune you can think of. So it kind of works well for Ain't Misbehaving. So we've had one out of tempo, we've had one a sort of swing. If I was to use the same chords again, but I was going to lift the speed up, something like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So all of me, it works with the same chords. I haven't changed them, they're the same chords. It's surprising, isn't it? Because when you lift the tempo, you think it's a completely different set of chords, but it's not. It's exactly the same. And remember, this is for the key of C, only C. All right. So Peter, what if we went...
Peter, someone asked what the last chord in that sequence was.
Yes, that's the G augmented, it's called. Yeah, so G augmented. I should have said that, yeah. So I was that focused on the shape of D minor, I forgot to tell you. So G augmented is that last chord of the 4.
And what's
good
the
question.
numeric
Thank you.
definition?
So 0, 3, 3, 2.
Okay.
0, 3, 3, 2.
Thank you very much.
Exactly the same shape as a D minor and the same fingers as a D minor, but you're just moving it sort of down and across or across and down. However you want to go get there, it's the same shape. Okay. If you went faster still, you could use that for like Saints Go Marching In or something like that. So you could go... Oh, when the saints go marching in. So I've used the same chord sets for 4 different tempos and 4 completely different types of tunes, but we've just done... Okay. Now you can also use it as an end. Yeah, so we could do one the all of me, and then finish with which is the C major 7th, which is a really nice chord to finish on in the key of C. So I've used the same chords as the intro, and I've used it as an outro. So. there you go.
Awesome.
So that is in the key of C. Any more questions there, Greg?
Tom had a question. Tom said you had talked with him about the ukulele, and you had told him that you often play a concert because the transitions are easier, the chord transitions. So he asked about this because you're playing a tenor now.
No, this is a concert.
Oh, that still is a concert. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So the one I was
that
playing,
answers a few questions that people had.
yeah, it's cool. So the one I was playing was called the Spirit Concert. So this is now the Peter Moss concert sort of thing, but it's the same size as the Spirit, and it just suits my fingers because the tenor. I did have a tenor when I started again playing, which we'll probably touch on later. I had a big break of not playing the uke when I started again. I picked up a tenor, and I could only manage it for about half an hour before I was getting real pain here. So I decided that I just needed to kind of just bring that in a little bit. And the only way I could do it was moving one down from the tenor, which was to the concert, which I'm very comfortable playing this. You know, it's great. You know, just works with my thickness of fingers as well, because some people have got very skinny fingers, some people have got thicker fingers. You know, so in that case, probably a tenor would work. But I do a lot of this sort of thing where I'm doing. And on the tenor, it was just like after a while it hurt. So, and you know, you can do yourself an injury if you're not careful. So that is there. Okay. Now, can I just go over to you for a second, Greg, just to have a little chat and come
Yeah,
back to me?
yeah, absolutely. One second. Okay, we're switched now. Okay, so one thing Peter asked me to say when before we came on, he's got a little bit of a cold. So in spite of the cold, he is still here with us. But he said he might need a quick break off screen and you know, clear his throat. So we still appreciate him being on, and I'm not unveiling anything. He wanted me to tell you that.
I'm free. I'm back.
All right, so we're back. All right, perfect.
Thank you for that, Greg.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime.
Yes, it's a bit embarrassing if you've got a cold and you don't be blowing your nose on cameras. But thank you for that.
You
Appreciate
bet.
it.
You bet.
So we've looked at the key of C, and now we're going to go to the key of F. And we're going to do a similar thing where we're going to look at what is it like with this chord set if we did a really slow one, if not out of tempo, a sort of swing type thing. And then we're going to lift the tempo up again. Then we're going to go crazy fast, okay, using the same chords. So what are the chords for my little intro in the key of F? So the first one is this. So let me move this finger out of the way because we're going to be playing an F and a C at the same time. And I'm literally going to call it F plus C because that's what it is. It's an F using the same fingers plus a C with your pinky ring fingers doing nothing. Maybe mine would just hover around there, but it isn't touching any strings. It's just floating. Okay, so F plus C is our first chord. And as a chord number, that will be 2013, 2013. Now we're going to use another diminished chord like we did in the first one, but we're going to play it in what I call the first position. Now with diminished chords, they can be very complicated because they can be called any one of the 4 string components. So it could be called whatever that note is, whatever that note is, whatever that note is, or that. So I've simplified it, okay? And I do this with my students in the UK. So basically this, I call it diminished 1, because this is where my index finger is. Yeah, so diminished 1, my finger is on fret 1, so that's diminished 1. So if you've never played the chord before, let me stack it for you. So I've got my index finger on the 4th string on the 4th string 1st fret. I've got my 2nd finger on the 2nd string 1st fret, and then I'm going to reach over with my ring finger onto the 3rd string 2nd fret, and then with my pinky onto the 1st string 2nd fret. So that sounds like. If yours sounds like that, you've got it right. If it doesn't sound like that, just have a look at your fingers if you've got there. And let me give you that chord number as well. So looking from nose to toes, we've got 2. Sorry, we haven't. We've got 1, 2, 1, 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Or as I like to call that, diminished 1. Okay. Okay, so that's our second chord. So we went from here, which was the F plus C. slide that finger down, and that gives us diminished 1. G minor 7th, a cracking chord this. I use this a lot. For those of you that don't like playing B flat, I'm going to make that a lot easier, and I'm going to remove what's on the 4th string, but everything else is going to remain. So therefore my index finger is covering strings 1 and 2 on the 1st fret, and my second finger is going to go on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. So basically it's a B flat minus 1 finger. Okay, there are 2 names to this chord. If you are in the key of B flat, it would be called a B flat 6, but a lot of people know this chord as G minor 7th. Okay, so G small M7 is our 3rd chord. Okay, what comes after that? Oh, this is a gorgeous chord coming up. This is C9, and I bet hardly anybody's played a C9. All you do is, instead of covering 2 strings with this index finger, you're going to come off the 2nd string and just drop that down to just the 1st string. Now, what chord shape does that look like, Greg, to you?
The shape, F?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So basically you use the same fingers as you would an F, and you just take everything across the string.
That was a lot of pressure answering that question. No, I said that was a lot of pressure answering that question. I hope I get this right.
You did. Top of the class, sir. So you've gone from here to there. It's a lovely transition. So what does that sound like? If I play it really, really slowly, I could do... Then I could do something like... So it just takes you in there. By the way, that little thing I'm doing there, the finger pick, isn't as complicated as it sounds. All you do is, starting with the F plus C's, you pick the 2 outside strings together. So it's like a pinch. There you go. Okay, and then you go with your thumb, string 3, string 2, string 1. So 2 outsides, 3, 2, 1. So if you take these, I do 1 on each of those. So then the diminished 1, then the G minor 7th, then the C9. Aren't they nice? So if you go a little bit faster, you've got this. And you're into your piece then, whatever it is. However, if you're going to be playing something with more of a swing, slow swing, I could do something like this. So it goes nicely into Georgia, and it could go into many tunes, but I just used that as an example. So exactly the same chords as we were playing before, but I just put a little bit of a swing rhythm to it. So what if we went a little bit faster still? So if we go... You could do something nice. Yeah, so it really works well with a sort of bouncy number like Only a Paper Moon. And what if we went really fast? We could do... No, I did it wrong. That's it. So something fast like that Lady Be Good there would work well. So again, what I've proven is that we've used the same chords out of tempo with a slow speed, with a slightly faster, or using the same chords. And isn't that amazing? So we've looked at the key of C, we've looked at the key of F. I'm interested in your feedback if you are enjoying them.
Yeah, Lisa Webb says hello, and this is great.
Hi, Lisa.
You're gonna see her at Gaithersburg, a big
Correct,
festival
yeah.
coming up in 2 weeks.
No, I leave on the 15th, so it's on the 17th it starts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's an amazing uke player. She really is. And a really nice person too.
She is.
But don't tell her I said that.
I'm just scrolling through some comments because they're passing by. Someone asked about G minor 7 again.
Sure, yeah.
The
So if you imagine, yeah. So if you imagine you're playing a B flat, which is quite a difficult chord to play on the uke. A B flat would be, reading it nose to toes, it would be 3, 2, 1, 1. Okay, and this one is flattened over 2. However, there's an adaptation to it, which you can take off what's on the 4th string and just leave these from the B flat. So it's half of the B flat, if you like. It's got a really meaty sound to it. If you were in the key of B flat, it would be known as B flat 6. However, if you're in the key of C or G or even F, it would be called G minor 7th. Okay, so there you go. There's a lot of chords that have got different names, and it gets very confusing. So our open tuning is C6. Well, that's what we tend to say, yeah? But it's also called A minor 7th. So again, depending on what key you're in, what you're playing in, it could be called any one of those. So some chord shapes have got 4 names. It gets very confusing. But I tend to use things like minor 7ths and augmented ninths. There's basically a ninth chord just adds so much to a piece. If you take like Stevie Wonder, he did a rundown. Instead of doing it in 7ths, he did it in 9ths. So you got this. Remember that from? Yeah, so he uses a lot of those things. But I just love doing. That's a 13, so that's an extension of a 9. And then major 7th. And you can really expand on them. Or instead of going I might go, and it just changes it completely. And if I was to do a bridge of basic chords going from F, so that's using a 7th instead of 9ths. Now I'm going to do it with 9ths. Listen to this. It just changes it completely.
That's awesome.
But that's for another day, 9ths.
That's great. I do want to remind people watching, because they're asking if we can repeat what the chord progressions are. So I don't want to do that just because I want to spend time doing something else. But everyone that is watching, this is recorded. So as soon as this is over, within probably 2 minutes, it's available on the Facebook videos. And you could just go back and watch this section and just see everything that was said. I think that's probably the best use of time. I wanted to talk about just a little bit, and then I know you're going to perform another tune for us. But I wanted to talk, the last couple of years has been crazy for everybody. And a lot of people had to get creative with, how they were, distributing or teaching and because of COVID. And you got very active in that. And if you want to talk just a little bit about your Patreon presence and kind of what's available, and because it's pretty neat, and the different levels you have, I think, make it available. But it's a very cool package, and you can really learn a lot and get some some very personal things. So yeah, if you want to just take a few minutes and just tell us about Patreon, and that'd be
Cool.
great.
Well, I started originally doing some free stuff on YouTube, and if you go to my YouTube channel, just Peter Moss Ukulele, you'll find them there. That there are suggestions for different ways of playing typical songs that are played in ukulele groups, and just giving them some embellishments. But then I did some 10-minute tutorials that were very popular, that looking at an introduction to melody, etc., etc. And then some people wanted to go a bit further. So I decided to do something called ukulele shortcuts. And the idea behind it is that I've been playing now for, this is my 53rd year. And I would say real constructive stuff has been into 10 years, I'd say, to be fair, rather than all of the 35 years, so 53 years. So yeah, so the idea was to condense everything down. However, there was quite a lot of people already who are tutoring the ukulele through Patreon sites and things. So I wanted mine to be different. I wanted mine to be a ukulele community. So basically, I would set some tasks for all the patrons. Then I'd ask them to make selfie videos just using their phones, and they would send the videos to me, and I would share them with everybody else. Now, this was great because we didn't expect any concert sort of level of videos. We wanted to have people to have a go at things. So even if people played a verse of something, it was fantastic. So we called all the videos work in progress, and it's been so popular. And I've gained people from all over the world. We do 2 live streams a month, plus I do 1 recorded one a month. Now, the fee for that is $6 plus your local taxes, whichever state you're in. It tends to change, but for $6 you get 2 live streams where you get to meet everybody, and you get 1 pre-recorded. Now that's, as I say, around $6 plus taxes. Then for some of the ukulele solos, I also do backing tracks. So you get everything in tier 2 that you would in tier 1, plus you get the backing tracks, and they're a great rehearsal tool. The third tier is $25 plus taxes, and that gives you everything from tier 1, tier 2, but then you get a one-to-one with me as well for 1 hour. And it could be something of your choice. It could be a ukulele melody. It might just be a sing-along where you can't work out the correct key to sing it in, etc., etc. But it's just your personal time with me for 1 hour, and that is for $25 plus taxes. Now, I'm sure if you've explored the internet and looked at just tutors,
Yeah,
just for a one-to-one lesson, they could be $50,
yeah.
for half an hour, some of them. So this is $25 for 1 hour, plus you get the 2 live streams, plus you also get the 1 pre-recorded. And with every pre-recorded and also the live streams, there is a printout as well for you to work with. And then everything, when we've done the live streams, they're recorded, they're put back on the site. And to date, I have got 110 videos, believe it or
Wow.
not, that from, if you signed up today, then basically you would have access to 110 videos, and they're all marked in levels of difficulty with colors. So you've got your amber, your green, and your reds. So your reds are the toughest ones, because we have got people of all different levels, and yeah, it's going
Yeah,
really well.
that's
The last
awesome.
live stream we did was about a week ago, and we had on the same live stream, we had somebody in California, somebody in New York, we had quite a few in the UK, and we had somebody the following day in Australia. Yeah, so
Wow.
it was amazing, all on the same call.
Wow.
And everybody has a go. So what tends to happen? I've got all my screen full of little squares of people, and I'll say, Susan, why don't you start us off tonight and just have a go at that first verse? But then Susan then has the opportunity to nominate somebody else. And then that person nominates somebody else, and it just goes round the whole group. And as I
That's
say, I will
awesome.
then set them the task to actually make their own video, send it to me, and share with the group. And the lovely comments and support all the patrons give to each other is just so heartwarming to read. Because there's no people who are going to judge. Everybody's learning, everybody's in the same boat, as it were. So it's a really nice experience just watching all this happen.
Well, that's awesome. So during the countdown of the show, we had that URL, the web address for that
Oh, cool.
Patreon
Yep.
page. When you were introduced, we had it. But once you hop off after this tune, and hop into the comments, would you mind just pasting that the Patreon link into
Sure,
the
I can do
comments
that.
on Facebook? Okay,
Yep,
some
yep.
people were asking. I think they'd like to see that. But you can see it, for those watching, if you go to the very beginning of the show in the replay, just during the countdown, there's 10 minutes of countdown music, and that's Peter playing, and it has that URL there.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Fantastic. No, thank you. And you've got another tune for us.
Sure.
Before you go, you've got another tune. So I'm going to put you on the full screen. They don't want to see me, and here we go.
Here we go then.
Mike, yeah, that's amazing. You make that look so easy. I mean, that is phenomenal. And the comments, people are just blown away by that. So thank you, Peter Moss. Thank you so much. It's been such a treat to have you here. This is awesome. Check out the Patreon page, folks. Peter's going to be on the comments and on the Facebook chat in just a few moments, and he's going to answer any question you have about his signature ukulele, about his Patreon page, about anything. So hang tight for that if you have a question. Peter, really, I can't thank you enough. It's been awesome. Pleasure getting to know you, and really appreciate your time and talent and sharing that with us.
Well, it's been my pleasure too. So thank you so much, Greg.
All right. Have a great night, folks. Stay on. Peter will be in the comments in just a few moments, and then we're going to start a play along in just a minute. All right. Take care, Peter. We'll see you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. That was phenomenal. Yeah, I'm going to have to watch that in slow motion. That was really fast. The one at the end. That was crazy. All right. So that was fantastic. Once again, so all of this is recorded. That was a lot of information. He packed a lot of stuff into 30 plus minutes, and you can watch it all. And you can watch that all back and just watch the parts you need. So if you're wondering about the chord progressions or anything played, I would probably recommend watching that again. Alrighty, so let me get rolling here. Let's get some songs up here. We got a lot of stuff. We have 7. We normally do 6 songs when there's a guest. So we're going to get rolling because we got an extra thing we're going to throw in here tonight. Still a play along song, but just something a little different. Anyway, and again, new folks, glad you're here. Say hello. If you are new and you haven't yet sort of jumped into the chat and said hello, please do. Don't be shy. I know people are always hesitant, like they don't want to announce their arrival, but people will love seeing you here and greet you and ask you where you're from, and you will form friendships here. I'm certain of that. All right, so let's kick into song 1 here, and let's go into this screen. So if you are new, this is what it looks like. And let's just make sure. Someone sent me a message on my phone saying I sounded off mic, like my mic didn't sound like it was normal. But everything looks normal. Levels are the same, so I think I'm normal. Maybe there was just a glitch or something on his end. Kathy, we do have great guests, don't we? It's been just awesome doing this. People are so nice. And I'm just so grateful that people want to do this and want to come on and do this. So, all right, here we go. We're just going to vamp on C to start. Let's just get warmed up a little bit. Right? Something like that. Ready? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Even when I'm afraid, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, even when I'm afraid, I'm gonna let it shine. Even when I'm afraid, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine. All right, that is song number one. Let's see, do I still need these headphones? No, I don't. All right, this next song. So my dad's a character. My dad loves music, and when I visit, they don't live too far from here, about an hour from me. He'll just throw out these random songs and say, "Hey, you know, it'd be a really good song for a Wednesday night." And sometimes I do the songs he has requested. So this is one we did this once before. So this is one my dad recommended. I know, I think most of us. A lot of us know Kingston Trio, but I had not known this song. So, we've only done this one other time, but it's kind of fun. So, here we go. We went one day, about a month ago, to have a little fun in Mexico. We ended up in a gambling spot where the liquor flowed and the dice were hot. So here we are in the Tijuana jail. Ain't got no friends to go our bail. So here we'll stay, 'cause we can't pay. Just send our mail to the Tijuana jail. I was shooting dice, raking in the dough, and then I heard a whistle blow. We started to run when a man in blue said, "Senor, come with me, 'cause I want you." So here we are in the Tijuana jail. Ain't got no friend to go our bail. So here we'll stay, 'cause we can't pay. Just send our mail to the Tijuana jail. Just $500 and they'll set us free. I couldn't raise a penny if you threatened me. I know 500 doesn't sound like much, but just try to find somebody to touch. So here we are in the Tijuana jail. Ain't got no friend to go our bail. So here we'll stay, 'cause we can't pay. Just send our mail to the Tijuana jail. So here we are in the Tijuana jail. Ain't got no friends to go our bail. So here we'll stay, 'cause we can't pay. Just send our mail to the Tijuana jail. There you go, Dad. Little Kingston trio. All right, let's switch back here and see what is next. All right, this next one, the strum's a little tricky. We've done this before, and I think we've done it also as a a collaboration song. So tonight we're just going to do it straight, and I'm going to show you the strum real quick. It's not too difficult, but just a little different. Something you're probably not quite used to. So if we look at that intro, I got to get the song in my head. I got to get Tijuana out of my brain. That's it. So it's just a full island strum, and then a down on G, down on F, down on C. So it's right? G, F, C. And that's it. And that happens a couple times. There's a couple little instrumental breaks. There's one, and that's it. So, here we go. And the song, if you don't know the song, it's a Glenn Campbell song. Glenn Campbell sang it. Guys on the screen wrote it. Bobby Austin and Kurt Sappa. So it's, if you see a brother standing by the road with a heavy load. So that's, the rest of it's pretty easy. It's just those little parts on the intro and a couple musical interludes. So here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we go straight into it. If you see your brother standing by the road with a heavy load from the seeds he sowed. If you see your sister falling by the way, just stop and say, you're going the wrong way. You got to try a little kindness, show a little kindness, just shine your light for everyone to see. And if you try a little kindness, then you'll overlook the blindness of narrow-minded people on the narrow-minded streets. Don't walk around the down and out. Lend a helping hand instead of doubt. And the kindness that you show every day will help someone along the way. You've got to try a little kindness, show a little kindness, just shine your light for everyone to see. And if you try a little kindness, then you'll overlook the blindness of narrow-minded people on their narrow-minded street. First line, now second line. D, C, G. You've got to try a little kindness, show a little kindness, just shine your light for everyone to see. And if you try a little kindness, then you'll overlook the blindness of narrow-minded people on their narrow-minded street. Of narrow-minded people on their narrow-minded street. All right, so Peter is still in the comments. I haven't been able to jump over and both look at the songs we're singing and the comments, but I see right now that he is there, so awesome. Thank you, Peter, for doing that. He's staying up even later for us, so that's really nice. Okay, let's come up to this real quick. Actually, no, we're gonna do, yeah. Let me see what song I have next. And then we're going to talk about the collaboration after that. All right, let's do this. We're going to do this slightly out of order. So we're going to do a song. And this is a collaboration song with someone who is here. You know her. And I think we have played this during the collaboration special, but I think we played this one other time too. So Charla, I saw Charla in the comments before. Charla, you're just a hit. People love Charla. So let me get this ready here. And so this is a collaboration that Charla and I did for a collaboration special. And we're going to play this. It's going to be a play-along song, so chords and lyrics will scroll. And then we're going to talk about something coming up in a few weeks, our collaboration special. So we're going to play this song, come back, and we're going to talk about that. So where is that? There it is. All right, here we go. Let me get my headphones so I can hear this. It's very important. All right, there we go. All right, folks, here it is. Here is Charla Weens. Now I've got arms.
And I got arms.
Let's get together and use those arms.
Let's go.
Time's a wasting. I've got lips.
And I got lips.
Let's get together and use those lips.
Let's go.
Time's a wasting.
Well, a cake's no good if you don't mix a batter and bake it.
Love's just a bubble if you don't take the trouble to make it. So if you're free to go with me, I'll take you quicker than 1, 2, 3.
Let's go.
Time's a wasting. Now I've got blues.
And I got blues.
Let's get acquainted and lose those blues.
Let's go.
Time's a wasting. Now I've got feet.
And I got feet.
Let's start to walk where the lovers meet.
Let's go.
Time's a wasting.
You got me feeling love like I never felt it.
You're full of sugar and I think I'm the burner to melt it. Now I've got schemes.
You got schemes.
Let's get together and dream some dreams.
Let's go.
Time's a wasting. Nice. All right. So thank you again, Charla. That was fun. So that is a collaboration. Most of you are probably familiar with that whole collaboration concept. They're done online. You see them shared a lot on Facebook, all over the place, Instagram, etc. We have had 3 specials where we do collaborations, and the whole night, the whole show is collaborations with people who watch the show, which is very, very cool. But it's still a play along. There's still music and scrolling and all of that. That still happens. So we have another one. This will be our 2-year anniversary. Hard to believe, but we've been doing this 2 years, almost 2 years. And we're doing our 2-year special on April 6th. So if you look there, those are the collaborations that are thus far completed. And we've got a few more that are in process, and then 2 more that haven't been started. So I think we're going to end up with 12 or 13. But that's it. So you can see names you know. People right now in the comments are taking part in collaboration. So it's a lot of fun. So, join us. That night, just as part of kind of a big thing, of a 2-year anniversary big thing, we are giving away a close ukulele, a close carbon fiber ukulele. You can see that in the picture on the screen, but it's the same uke that I play and have been playing for years, since they first started producing these. I have one of the actual very first carbon fiber ukuleles that they made. So we're giving one of those away, which is pretty cool. And we're also giving away an app that is used to make those collaborations. So April 6th, it's going to be a lot of fun. Put it on your calendar. We still have shows before then. Although I'll have news, we're gonna have a small break, just because I have a Wednesday commitment. But I'll tell you more about that as it gets closer. And that's it. So looking forward to that, and thanks to all thus far who have collaborated. It really is a lot of fun doing that. So it's gonna be a fun night. We hope you're there. All right, so we've got 2 Zac Brown songs tonight. Sort of odd how it worked out that way, but I'll explain. There's a reason for that. This, let me put the chords up there above. Okay, so 3-chord song. I know a lot of you are saying, fabulous. I love 3-chord songs, but 3-chord song. If you're not familiar with the syntax, the green means you're playing chords only. You're not singing. The down and up arrows mean simple, like it's a down strum or a down and an up, but it's not a full strum. So that's all that means. Pretty easy to follow. And here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I got my toes in the water, ass in the sand, not a worry in the world, a cold beer in my hand. Life is good today. Life is good today. Well, the plane touched down just about 3 o'clock. The city's still on my mind. Bikinis and palm trees danced in my head. I was still in the baggage line. Concretes and cars are their own prison bars, like this life I'm living in. But the plane brought me farther, I'm surrounded by water, I'm not going back again. I got my toes in the water, ass in the sand, not a worry in the world, a cold beer in my hand. Life is good today, life is good today. Adios and vaya con Dios. Yeah, I'm leaving GA. If it weren't for tequila and pretty senoritas, I'd have no reason to stay. Adios and vaya con Dios. Yeah, I'm leaving GA. Gonna lay in the hot sun and roll a big fat one and grab my guitar and play. The 4 days flew by like a drunk Friday night as the summer drew to an end. Can't believe that I just couldn't leave, and I bid adieu to my friends. 'Cause my bartender, she's from the island, her body's been kissed by the sun. And coconut replaces the smell of the bar, I don't know if it's her or the rum. I got my toes in the water, ass in the sand, not a worry in the world, a cold beer in my hand. Life is good today, life is good today. Adios and vaya con Dios, a long way from GA. Hey, and all the muchachas, they call me Big Papa when I throw pesos their way. Adios and vaya con Dios, a long way from GA. Hey boss, do me a favor and pour me some Jaeger, I'll grab my guitar and play. Adios and vaya con Dios, going home now to stay. 'Cause senoritas don't care when there's no dinero, you got no money to stay. Adios and vaya con Dios, going home now to stay. I just crop up by the lake with my ass in the lawn chair, toes in this clay. Not a worry in the world, a PBR on the way. Life is good today, life is good today. Alright, that's a fun one. That is a fun one. So that's Zac Brown. If you don't know that song, that is Zac Brown. If you don't know Zac Brown, good stuff. Really good stuff by Zac Brown. All right, how are we doing on time? 8:08. We're doing just perfect. Since we have no exact end time, we're right on schedule. All right, we have never done this song before. You might have sang it, but we've never done it here. And I just took these off, realizing I have to put them right back in. So I've almost done the entire night with headphones, which is not something I usually do. All right. Okay, so let's get a few things ready. Oh, that's a drum machine. All right, so usually on a night that we are lucky enough to have a guest, we usually do one song with a drum machine, just to build some skills that you might want to work on. When we don't have a guest, we usually do two of those. I don't want to overpower too much drums, but I want to have enough. And most people like it. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so we are going to do, here we go. We are going to do A Boy Named Sue, which is a funny song, written by Shel Silverstein, author of many kids' books, cover of the Rolling Stone, quite a few popular songs, but really amazing guy, talented guy. But Johnny Cash sang this song. Others probably did. I think Johnny Cash is probably most known for it. So let me put the chords up there. Again, fabulous 3-chord song. And why is this song in D? Because that's what I can sing it in. Let me get this song in my head. Give me a minute. Name me Sue. Yeah, it's tough when I get another song in my head, especially I haven't done this a whole lot. So bear with this non-professional musician. I might have to come. We might do another song and come back and do this because I'm having a hard time getting this song in my head. Yeah, I think we are. We're going to switch order here. And I'm going to have to get the song in my head while we do this next thing. I know that sounds terrible. And I did this 2 times. I practiced this twice today. And it went pretty well until right at this very moment. So hold on. We're going to do this. We're going to do Chicken Fried, the other Zach Brown song. And the treat is, so Devin Scott was here. Left this morning. He stayed at my house a couple of days. I had Amy come over, and Amy and Devin and I were just playing a little music. So from my living room, we recorded this. So we're still going to do a play-along song. It's just pre-recorded. So the gent is human. All right, so we're going to go over to this. I think you're going to like this. Kind of fun. It'll feel like you're here in the living room with us. And then we'll come back and we'll do A Boy Named Sue, I promise. I think I promise. Here we go.
You know I like my chicken fried, cold beer on a Friday night, pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio up.
Well, I was raised up beneath the shade of a Georgia pine. That's home, you know. Sweet tea, pecan pie, homemade wine where the peaches grow. My house, it's not much to talk about, but it's filled with love that's grown in southern ground. Do a little bit of chicken fried, cold beer on a Friday night, pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio up like see the sunrise. See the love in my woman's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child, no mother's love. It's funny how simple things in life that mean the most. Not where you live, what you drive, or the price tag on your clothes. There's no dollar sign on a piece of mind, this I've come to know. So if you agree, have a drink with me, raise your glasses for a toast. Do a little bit of chicken fried, cold beer on a Friday night, pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio up like see the sunrise. See the love in my woman's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child, no mother's love.
Thank God for my life, for the stars and stripes. May freedom forever fly. Let it ring. Salute the ones who died, the ones that give their lives, so we don't have to sacrifice all the things we love.
Like our chicken fried, cold beer on a Friday night, pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio up like see the sunrise. See the love in the woman's eyes, see the touch of a precious child, no mother's love. Get you some chicken fried, cold beer on a Friday night, pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio up like see the sunrise. See the love in the woman's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child, no mother's love.
That's it? That's a
it.
wrap?
That's a
That's a
wrap.
wrap.
One take.
So, that's fun. Devin, it was a blast having you here. We'll do that again soon. All right, so the next song, I think, is A Boy Named Sue. Oh, so funny, so funny. I'm sure that's probably never happened to any of you, but, and I don't think it's ever happened here before. So I believe it's in my head now. We're going to start in just a moment because I'm going to play drums. Right? Amy did a great job, didn't she? Yes, Amy, well done. Devin was all right. Okay, right? I mean, Devin, he got by. Kidding. Devin's awesome. Devin is awesome. All right, so we're going to come back to this and just kind of... It's this. Well, my daddy left home when I was 3, and he didn't leave much to ma and me. Just this old... Okay, that's how this tune goes. So let's start our little drums here. Okay. Woo. I know that sounds like a fast drum beat, and it is. But it's not such a fast drum. Don't worry, we're gonna come back. We're not starting yet. Well, my daddy left home when I was 3, and he didn't leave much to ma and me, just his old guitar and this empty bottle of booze. So that's about the strum we're doing. All right, here we go. Are you ready? I'm ready now. Always remember how much you pay to watch this on Wednesdays. All right, here we go. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, my daddy left home when I was 3, and he didn't leave much to ma and me, just his old guitar and an empty bottle of booze. Now I don't blame him when he run and hid, but the meanest thing that he ever did was before he left, he went and named me Sue. Well, he must have thought it was quite a joke. I got a lot of laughs from a lot of folks. It seems I had to fight my whole life through. Some guy would giggle and I'd get red, and some guy would laugh and I'd bust his head. I tell you, life ain't easy for a boy named Sue. Well, I grew up quick and I grew up mean. My fists got hard, my wits got keen. I'd roam from town to hide my shame. But I made a vow to the moon and stars that I'd search the honky-tonks and bars and kill that man who gave me that awful name. Well, it was Gatlinburg in mid-July. I just hit town and my throat was dry. Thought I'd stop and have myself a brew. Well, that old saloon on a street of mud, there's a table dealing studs at the dirty, mangy dog that named me Sue. That's only half the song. There's 10 verses. And here's 5. Well, I knew that snake was my own sweet dad from a worn-out picture that my mother had, and I knew that scar on his cheek and his devil eye. He was big and bent and gray and old, and I looked at him and my blood ran cold, and I said, "My name is Sue. How do you do? Now you're gonna die." Well, I hit him hard right between the eyes, and he went down, but to my surprise, he come up with a knife and cut off a piece of my ear. But I busted a chair right across his teeth, and we crashed through the wall and into the street, kicking and gouging in the mud and the blood and the beer. I tell you, I fought tougher men, but I really can't remember when. He kicked like a mule and did it like a crocodile. I heard him laugh and I heard him cuss. He went for his gun and I pulled mine first. He stood there looking at me and I saw him smile. And he said, "Son, this world is rough. And if a man's gotta make it, he's gotta be tough. And I knew I wouldn't be there to help you along. So I give you that name and I said goodbye. I knew you'd have to get tough or die. And it's the name that helped you make you strong." Verse 9. Woo! He said, now you just saw one hell of a fight, and I know you hate me, but you got the right to kill me now. Wouldn't blame you if you do. But you ought to thank me before I die for the gravel in your guts and the spit in your eye, 'cause I'm the son of a bitch that named you Sue. And here's the last verse. I got all choked up and I threw down my gun and I called him Pa and he called me a son, and I came away with a different point of view. And I think about him now and then, every time I try, every time I win. And if I ever have a son, I think I'm gonna name him Bill or George or anything but Sue. I still hate that name. All right. We'll do that one again sometime. I'm getting texts on my phone saying it's funny that I forgot the lyrics. I didn't forget the lyrics. I forgot the tune. I've only sang that song 2 times today and like once on Monday. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Hope that was fun. I'm taking off headphones. We're about to call this a wrap. Peter Moss, it was awesome having you here. I'm not sure why I'm talking so loud. I think because of the drum machine. But Peter, really, really appreciate you being here. I am going to watch that back because that's just some phenomenal teaching and some phenomenal tips. So really cool stuff. New folks, as I said, really glad you're here. And those who are part of this Wednesday night regularly, love that you're here. And we got festivals coming up. Petey Mac, who I saw on the comments. Oh, Peter Moss is still awake. Peter, thank you. Really awesome. And sorry that you're still awake, but you told me you stay up late. Talking about, I'm getting my, that sounds bad. No, I won't say that. We were talking about Petey Mac. Pete's got a festival in Memphis in April. So hopefully, not hopefully I'm going, I am going. But hopefully I'm going to get to meet some folks there. That will be a lot of fun. So I'm really looking forward to that. Some of you, I know you're going. So really, really looking forward to being there. And that is it, folks. I hope you had a great night. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. And next week we've got a usual play along 10 songs and a lot of fun. And that's at 7 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday, or almost every Wednesday, 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. And we hope to see you there. Good night, everybody. Ciao, and take care. Bye.
Ukulele Gent.